This episode of the Dirt Talk podcast is with Nic Parish of Burns Dirt. Nic, alongside his brother, took over Burns Dirt, a civil construction company his grandfather and great-uncle started with 2 dump trucks in 1977. He spent a decade quietly stepping into a leadership role he never formally asked for, only to find himself mid-conversation trying to untangle a decade-long family buyout while figuring out he was inside a company built by the people who raised him. He reveals why construction's people problem isn't a skills gap, but a leadership gap, and why the contractors still blaming the next generation for being unprepared are ignoring the fact that they're the ones who raised them. Nic is a great friend of mine from Mississippi. This, I think, is his 3rd appearance on the Dirt Talk podcast. Might be one of the top people on the podcast. So go back and listen to other episodes. It talks more a little bit about his history. This was more so a catch-up. He has officially bought the business with his brother now. That has closed. And they have trucking, they have civil construction, and they have waste. It's a lot of fun seeing the business grow, seeing Nic grow, and we always have a blast catching up. You will love this episode. I loved it. So here it is, Nic Parish with Burns Dirt. Speaking is so interesting because you have to do it in front of people.
Yeah.
To get the reps.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting art form because you have to do it in front of other people.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
ConExpo was my first time doing a long format.
Yeah. How long was yours?
50 minutes.
50?
Yeah. Which was good. I mean, I've done presentations and stuff, Yeah. And I've also been the host of events, right? Where I'm giving 10 or 15 minute sections throughout it, introducing speakers or introducing the program. Or,
you were the host for the event.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I've done that before, and you just have to have some structure for that. Mm-hmm. But also you're kind of just, I got to have facts about this guy, and then I got to introduce him, and I got to say something funny, and that's it.
Sure.
When you're in that long format, that's not important anymore. And one thing I learned through that was I started practicing with friends that were outside of the industry.
That's good.
Right? Because the whole basis of it was how do we apply Maslow's hierarchy of needs to building better businesses, right? Let's just break it down to something that's 100 years old, very simple. And so that's very approachable, right? And so I did 3 different sessions with friends that either don't run businesses or do, right? I had 2 kind of test groups, but then also all of them really don't understand what I do for a living, let alone a construction business. And my thought process, right or wrong here, was that if they don't understand it, then my educated audience is not going to get it either.
That's good.
And I found myself ripping it down, going back to ground zero after each one of those going, okay, I made an assumption that somebody's going to understand this.
Sure.
And they shouldn't, because Maslow is kind of is universal in people. I mean, that's the whole point of it, right? It's this universal basis of people's needs and motivations. And if I can't catch somebody up on construction, especially everyone has assumptions about the industry. So if I can't catch you up with your assumptions based on something that should be universal, then I haven't done a good job.
Well, and I think a good message is very simple, ultimately.
Yeah.
When I practice it, I don't add more. I strip away.
Oh, yeah.
And I simplify, and I simplify,
yeah.
and I simplify, and I simplify. Yeah. And so the first version has the most stuff. Right. And then I just cut it down from there. Like, that's what I was doing this morning. It was just like, what can I remove? What can I remove? What can I remove? And
how do you figure that out? I'm new to this, so I don't.
Now I've probably spoken at least 50 times. And so I have enough reps now. I think that's been a big piece of it, is just like, what's a good formula that works? And so I like opening with a story to just we're going to start opening with a video. Actually, I have like a 60-second video to just, in a way, show people, because like right away, I want to give somebody, why should they be listening to me? Because I'm on stage, I look like I'm somebody's kid. And so I need to give them something right away And so within a 60-second video, it'll be at us on job sites all over the world. Like, and so people right away are like, the fuck's going on here? Yeah. All right, this is interesting. If they don't know who I am.
Right.
And then I go into a story kind of to back that up about the diamond mine we went to, because it's just like, whoa, it's just so exotic and this and that, to kind of, again, illustrate and create the sense of authority that I'm leaning into for the message. Like, listen, I'm not here to tell you how to build. I just get to see more of the industry than just about anybody.
Sure.
And here's what I've learned about it. And then you kind of tee up like the big picture, and here's what we're going to talk about today. Here's what I'm going to leave you with. And then you tell them kind of the big picture. And I have, here's the 5 simple things that you can do as a leader. And I have a story with each one of those 5 to illustrate those 5. And at the end of the story, here's the point. Here's why it's in your best interest. Here's the point, kind of reiterating. And then once you're done with the stories, you reiterate, here's the 5 points, but don't think about all 5. Just go do one.
Recap. Yeah. And go do one.
Yeah. And so I think here's what I'm going to tell you, here's what I told you, and make it actionable. And that's really important. And then stories. Like even this morning, it's like, man, there's kind of a story here, but I need to make it more emotional. I can provide more context here to make this more effective. But stories are the most effective way to teach anything. And so if you just get up and it's like, let me tell you a story, people are like, all right, what's going on here? Let me hear a story. I mean, it worked for Jesus Christ. Yeah. If it worked for Jesus Christ, it's going to work for you too.
It's true.
So that's what I've really started to appreciate, stories and how to tell a story, which is a skill in itself. People are like, wow, you're such a good storyteller. It's like, yeah, because I've practiced and I've practiced and I've practiced and I've practiced.
That's where I need is a practice. I got done with the Con Expo session and I walked out and my brother was in the hall and I was like, hey, how did I do? He was like, it was good. You started yelling at people there at the end.
I've been guilty of that. I've been so guilty of that.
I was like, I got comfortable though. Yeah. I mean, I guess I was like, I get passionate. He's like, yeah, no, it's passionate. It just
which is really good because most speakers aren't, and so you have to bring a sense of energy, but you don't want to be scolding at the same time. Like you don't want to be talking at people, talking down to people, and that's what I've been afraid of sometimes. Even like Dirt World last year, I watched it back. I was like, where the fuck did that come from? That was a little. And I'm trying to be like, that's good. I want to just pour myself into it, bring energy, because I've realized that's one thing I have that a lot of people don't for whatever reason. Yeah. But like, take it just down one notch, like dial it back just a little bit. I think is my goal for this.
I need consistency through it. That morning I had never done this before. And I walked in to like check in. And I got there and I found the room that the app said I was supposed to be speaking in. I walked in and I was like, there's no way this is the right room. This is way too big.
How many people were there?
I don't know. I never got a full head count. 250 is probably my guess.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. And it was standing room in the largest session room.
Wow. The room makes a big difference too.
The room makes and in my head, I've been preparing for this first time, like, okay, I'm going to run through this. There's going to be 40 or 50 people, and I get there and I walk in. And so I was like, something's wrong. So I go to the speaker's lounge and I go in and I find the ladies that I know with, Con Expo, and it's okay, I'm Nick. And they're like, oh, hey, yeah. They go, you're popular.
Wow.
And I was like, that's not what I want to hear, while I'm drinking my espresso right now.
Sure.
After seeing that. And she's like, yeah, we had to move you to the big room yesterday because of the reservations. I was like,
did you promote it?
Okay. No. I mean, I made a couple posts on LinkedIn, but it was more of just like teeing up. If you're interested, this is what I'm going to talk about.
Sure.
I'm talking about a 100-year-old psychologist. So it's like, don't think you're coming in and I'm giving you anything revolutionary. I'm literally going to tell you about something that's very old.
Century-old logic.
Century-old logic, right? Yeah. And, so like I got there and I'm ready. I know what I'm going to do. And people are just pouring in. And I think that hit me at the beginning of it to where I was just like, this is not what I expected. Yeah. This is more than I mentally prepared for. And then by the halfway through it, people are taking notes. They're taking pictures of every slide. I felt the engagement, and that made me go, "Oh, okay."
Well, that's a big thing too. Is like again, it just depends upon the room. Like Dirt World, for example, it's all dressed up, so you can't see the audience.
Yeah,
and it's really hard to gauge anything because you've got, and so on these big stages, you've got the lights right in your face. Everything's dark. You just can't. You don't really know what the heck's going on. But then sometimes you're in a venue with like 43 people and you can see everybody's face because they're right there. It's just and then sometimes it's like younger people. Sometimes it's older people, executive. Like, it's just, it's so dependent. And I think another lesson I've learned is the cadence is really important. And so I'm always trying to go, like, the more up, down I can do, the better. I don't really want it to be a sustained cadence, if that makes sense. I don't want it to be a flat line. I want it to be more up, down, up, down, up, down, to just keep people with you. And that's what we do with YouTube videos as well. It's like, if you just deliver one block of something, people tune out. People tune out, man. You've got to, you're giving them information, and then there's a joke. And you can do that in a bunch of different ways, but there's a joke they're not expecting. And then it brings you back, and now you're engaged again, and you can deliver more information. Yeah, I think speaking's the same way. Like the more up and down I can do, whether that's through humor, whether that's through emotion, whether that's through like the intensity of a story, how I bring it about, how I raise my voice. There's just it's an incredible art form.
That's cinema, right? That's the build up and having friction and having tension and then breaking the tension and then going back and having. Is this the peak of the movie? Is this as crazy as it's going to get? Right? I mean, that's what that makes sense. I'm with you. Yeah,
no, and I'm still doing. This is like babies speaking. Like I'm still at the very beginning of this. Yeah. But I'm far enough in where it's like, wow. I have some tools in my toolbox. Yeah. And I can start to I'm crafting something now instead of just getting through it. Yeah. I think when you start, you're just trying to get through it and not be a complete idiot. Yeah.
You know, Michael King, civil CFO, he was there and we're friends and he was, after the show, he's like, do you want some feedback? I was like, please. Ooh, and he does a lot of it, right? Yeah. And we scheduled a call the next week and we talked about it. And he did tell me, he's like, all right, I've got a couple points. He's like, but also I want you to remember you were just trying to get through that. But once you're going to get over that hump, you're going to get past that just trying to get through it. And this is what you need to start thinking about after that point. Yeah. And I think having folks like that is very helpful, right?
Super helpful.
Of somebody going and saying, hey, look, I've done this a bunch. You need to remember this next time, right? Or that's not important. I know you think that's important, but this is really not important. You don't need anybody to say, imagine them all naked, right? That's not not the advice you're looking for, right? No. I think that good feedback loop is helpful.
So. It's really helpful. Yeah.
I just need some reps on it now.
That's all it is. I think that's all it is. It's just reps.
I probably could give that talk for the rest of my life too, and it get better and it get better.
Well, and you're learning more and more about it. That's the thing too,
day, right?
Yeah. I don't want my message to be the same every year at Dirt World. It kind of is. Like, it's the same kind of thing, but I want to be learning so much through the year that I'm able to deliver it in a better, far more effective way every year. Like, I just want to I want everybody coming out of my talk at Dirt World at least being like, yeah, that was the best one yet. Because I've learned more about the subject through lived experience. So then I can deliver the message a little bit better. But it's kind of the same message.
Sure, yeah.
With Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I feel like the industry is mostly still treading water at the very bottom. Basic needs from an employment standpoint, which I view is pay, benefits, consistent employment. Would you agree those are the basic needs from a company perspective?
Yes, I agree with that. And I think that is very true. That I think it's the one thing I must say in a caveat though is I think it's dangerous to say the wages that we pay is not enough to like cover the basic needs, like as a. That's not what you're saying, but
well,
I think
kind of
maybe.
is. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
I think it's a part of it, but I think that there's some people that are struggling beyond that in a more extreme management at a more extreme level, that just struggling to pay people physically is still an issue. Right?
Sure.
And so there's lots of contracts. So it's hard to jump into, well, are we even paying people a living wage? That's physiological, but that's almost starting to get into that security level, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I still think that there's lots of people that they're struggling to actually provide a secure environment and consistently pay people. Now, if you're not paying people every, Thursday or whatever it is, you don't have employees for very long.
Yeah.
But in our market today, I think there's tons of people just hire new people. They don't last for long. They hire another person. And so if you're not consistently paying people, that may be an extremist thought, but I still think that that's an issue. And so I'm even maybe a little more doom and gloom that we're still trying to figure out how to pay people consistently.
Sure.
And, but I think that there are some companies that are past that are getting into that next level of making people feel actual security that, hey, this is the work that's coming. Mm-hmm. Here's how you're going to move up. Mm-hmm. Here's how our bonus program works. Here's a 401k, and starting to build that safety blanket that because in Maslow's, if you forget about construction for a second, like the basic part of it is just food and shelter, right? Is an animal going to eat me?
Yeah.
No. Okay. I have a weapon or whatever. Mm-hmm. Do I have food to feed myself? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Not my family, right? I have to feed myself before I can take care of the others around me. Mm-hmm. And you have to get through. I still think some of that's not getting taken care of.
Yeah. In a literal sense, I use Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs a lot to just reiterate the importance of the dirt world. It's like, without infrastructure, basic needs are not met. And we don't think about that in our society because our basic needs have always been met. My whole life, I've always had power. I've always had running water. I've always had a toilet. I've always had a roof over my head. I've always had roads. I've never had to think about it before. Mm-hmm. And so I have then associated that with being automatic. But even now, I feel like travel's given me more and more appreciation for what I have in the infrastructure around me.
See how people live around the world.
Yeah, dude. I walk out of the grocery store with 2 bags full of stuff, vegetables and fruits and all good food because I eat well. Yeah. Good food.
Exotic foods, I might add.
Well, it's amazing that I can just go into a grocery store and get all of this good stuff from all over the world. And then I think it really hit me when I went to Australia for the first time. So I could not be on more of the opposite side of the planet than Australia from Nashville, Tennessee. It's quite literally almost the exact opposite part of the world. And I go into the supermarket and I buy the exact same stuff. And I cook the exact same thing that I would have at home. Yeah. And the whole time, I'm like, I cannot believe this. The exact same thing, although much better, because food outside of America is
way better,
far better than what we have. Our stores are garbage. Unfortunately, it bums me out every time I go into a foreign grocery store. But it's amazing. But we've always had that. And so most of society lives in this world that is like, that's just the constant state of affairs. But we've only had that for maybe a century. Before that, it was thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of years of just trying to figure out where we're going to go get calories.
That's right. Yeah. The vast majority of time, that's what we've been doing. Right?
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So it's you have to fulfill, like, in the way for people listening, the hierarchy works is it's a hierarchy. You have to fulfill the bottom tier before you can then move up to the second tier. And then the third tier, and then the fourth tier. And ultimately, you want to self-actualize, which
happiness.
is becoming all that you can be. Like one of my favorite quotes of all time is a Maslow quote. What a man can be, he must be. Yeah. Like a poet must write, a painter must paint. Like what you can be, you must be to self-actualize.
I think that's some of his later writings where he starts talking about how there's like self-actualization is this me like I realize what I am and what I can be.
Yes.
But then he argues later that he kind of changes it from the Maslow's hierarchy of needs to hierarchy of motivations, and argues that there's actually another level, which is what you're talking about, of being all that one can be, not just being fulfilled.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Of being past fulfillment, which is bizarre of a thought process to a lot of, to me, it is.
I mean, you can very quickly merge that with religion in a way
Sure,
that is
yeah.
like everybody has a path. Everybody is here for a specific reason. And it's your job to find out what that reason is. You may go your whole life, though, not finding it.
Right.
And a lot of people, I would say a majority of people in today's world don't find it, unfortunately.
People get I like the hierarchy as a visual of a pyramid,
Yes.
which is what he uses.
Yep.
But I like that because if you don't have the bottom foundation fixed and you start trying to go and plug in and fill in the higher levels, what happens? It falls apart. It's an inverted pyramid at that point. If you're not feeding yourself, but then you're also trying to get love and appreciation from your friends.
Yes.
Well, that's not going to end well for you, which I think is interesting. You bring up religion. Like, if you look at religion or social media, sometimes that happens with people. Especially social media is the easiest one, because I don't want to be seen as a person that picks on religion in here, but people can
take a swing. Choose your organized religion. Yeah.
But with social media, let's give that as an example. There's so many people that go and don't get the lower levels fixed, and then go and try to get one more than what social media should even potentially give, but they start trying to get love and belonging, relationships, then self-fulfillment out of it, and that rarely works out.
Well, and that's where, like, this is in my talk. You shall love your neighbors as yourself. You have to love yourself. You need love within you to give to others. It doesn't work the other way around. So you want a world-class relationship, and I should not be. I'm not the relationship guy, but or you
thought
want
that was your next book coming
You want
out.
a world-class business, but you're super overweight. It's like those things. They just don't necessarily work.
Yeah.
You've got to have that solid foundation. That's why I'm so deliberate about my body, my mind, alcohol consumption, all of that, because it's like, that's the foundation for everything else. If that's out of whack, I'm cooked. I am cooked. So I need to have those things locked down to then go do anything else.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people are missing. They're like, well, I need a self-care day. It's like, no, you need to go out and have a fucking walk, dude. Like, you need to get outside and go see the sun and get your 10,000 steps in. Start there.
Yeah.
You're going to feel a lot better. I promise you. You're not going to feel worse. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anybody that's like, well, I got healthier and I regret it.
I'm depressed.
Yeah. I'm super bummed out about it. I haven't seen it happen.
Yeah. Well, and so many people need to just let me strip away the unnecessary. Right. I got rid of social media several years ago and have been happier and don't look back.
Do you not do any social media?
No. And my LinkedIn post, I write posts and they get somebody puts some. I don't even touch it anymore.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
LinkedIn's kind of a pile of shit.
Yeah,
It's
but
a bunch of garbage.
Definitely don't have Instagram, Facebook, any of that stuff. I mean, I'm not.
Really?
I'm not contributing anything, and I'm not withdrawing anything. And
Okay.
which is a weird. Now that I'm probably a couple of years removed from this, it's a really weird because like even like product consumption's different.
Yeah.
I don't know about a new gadget that came out.
Sure.
AI came out and there's these new, like I have to go and I have to put forth effort to go and find new things, right? But anyways, I think that lots of people, the easiest way to improve all of that stuff, especially when you talk about the hierarchy, is start stripping away the cheap version of everything, right? Get rid of the cheap exercise, whatever. Get rid of the cheap love and belonging or social fulfillment, social media, right? And what's the guy we were talking about this morning of
Brian Johnson?
Oh, okay. So I was scrolling through his website.
Yeah.
And one of the things he was going down through his protocol, the top 5 things, he's talking about sleep and exercise. At the bottom, you and I were talking about this, of like he's trying to just be studied, and he's saying, don't live like me. This is kind of crazy. I'm just learn from this. But he had this statement at the bottom of that little section, and it said, I'm trying to remove all of the things that are unnecessary because addiction is a prisoner. There's a prison. And that kind of came to my mind in this conversation because it's like, there's so many things that we just become a prisoner of that actually doesn't give us the value that we want out of life. That's why I got rid of social media. I was like, I'm just a prisoner of this thing. I don't actually need this. I have great friends. I have a wonderful marriage. I have an incredible relationship with my kid. I have an incredible relationship with my coworkers. Like all of these people, what do I need this thing for?
No, it's certainly a knife's edge, at least that I'm on with social media.
I'm cutting down your platform. I'm trying to convince other people to get off.
I don't. I'm not on it a lot. I try to stay off it as much as I can. I try to, I do my posting. I do that. I love creating and putting it out there, but I try to limit my consumption because I know it's not good for me. But every once in a while, I'll get down, even on LinkedIn, I'll be like, what was it this morning? Some guy talking about, man, he was trying to make it was like Bitcoin mining is best for the grid. And and here's why. And I'm just like, I need to get off this. I'm like, this is, I'll see something like that. I'm like, all right, we need to pack it up here. I need to get off right now because this is insane. But I think if you use it as a tool, at least in my world, it has enriched my life.
Sure.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
1,000,000.
I'm a big soccer guy.
Unreal.
The World Cup is going on right now. I get on Reddit and look at the match threads, right? I want to see what people's opinions are.
Reddit. Dude, Reddit.
It's a deep, dark world.
It is a dark place.
Yeah.
You can find anything on Reddit, some really good information on Reddit.
Yeah.
But there is a darkness, and almost every thread descends into darkness at a certain amount of at a certain point in time. Yeah. No matter how helpful people are or how constructive people are, it will go off the rails at a certain point in time, and then people are just talking shit about each other's moms or something like that. Yeah.
Especially within sports, and that's where recently I've had to have some self-control here. That if I get so far down the comments and I start going, okay, what am I? That was unhinged. I can't read. That's time to get off. That's time to move on with my life.
Yeah. So Reddit. There's some good information on there. Though.
There is. Yeah. I like that you can curate what you see, right? Whereas like if you get on like, LinkedIn, Instagram, X, any of these, so much stuff is getting pushed into your algorithm that.
Well, you used to be able to curate it. Right. But now they're just shoving you so much shit in front of your face. Like, dude, so I'm reading right now. We're in very different worlds right now. I'm reading a book on social media for the third time. Gary V's Crushing It. Yeah. Really great book about the power of social media, brand, etc. And then later in the book, he has different chapters based on the different platforms. And the first one was Snapchat. And he's explaining all the benefits of Snapchat. And I'm like, I was on Snapchat in like high school. Yeah. And then I just got out of it. But he's explaining all the benefits. And I'm like, I see it. I like it. Maybe I should get on Snapchat and just poke around. And so I make a Snapchat account. And I'm like, all right, this is cool. I'm gonna start playing around with it, get used to it. One, it's very complicated now.
Is it?
Dude, there's so many different screens within it. I feel like a boomer. I'm like, what's going on here? And what are these filters and this and that? And what's this page? What's that page? But you go to it has now an explore page that's just like right in front of you. It's just all women. All women. So I signed up. It's a brand new Snapchat. I signed up for it and I haven't even posted anything. And it's just feeding me complete trash. Yeah. The trashiest of trash. I'm like, I don't want anything to do with this page whatsoever, but it's just shoving it right in front of my face.
That's what people go to that's the app for? Is that?
I don't know. I don't know. And that was one thing I was like, I don't know if I really want to be on here if this is what they're trying to shove in front of everybody by default. Brand new account. Here you go, just a pile of steaming shit. Nothing about how the world is becoming better. Here's your pile of shit.
This weekend I worked on building myself a custom newsletter that comes every day that goes, I had this thought. I was like, I don't know how I came about this thought, but I realized that the lack of social media, that's why people consume new information, new products, new reading, like new music. I mean, whatever media, whatever it is, that is the main avenue. And I recently realized that, and I thought to myself, like, has my personal spending gone down? I don't know. You think of something and you go spend it on something else, right? Is my time consuming books change? No, but I'm not up on what's the new book or the new music or whatever it is. And I recently realized, I was like, there's probably a way around this. And so this weekend I sat down and probably spent an hour and a half, and I had Claude go through and build this questionnaire, looked and saw what the science was for outbuilding algorithms. I said, I want to build an algorithm for myself, by myself, but in a closed loop. I want to try to remove outside interference, but I want to build my personal taste, but I also want to build a upvote, downvote, save, skip feature to where I can fix this over time. And I want you to feed me half a dozen things every day. It needs to be under 30 minutes of consumption. Nothing more, no endless scroll. And so I need, maybe a cool camping gear or whatever that maybe I might be interested in, or a new album. I see. Or a podcast.
Or what country we're at war with.
Yeah. I could feed that. I've chosen not to put any global events in it. Careful. But I'm trying it out. And so I've worked on it this morning a little bit. So I'm very interested in that, because if I can build my own, that's one of the powerful ways of AI, right? If I can build my own custom tool that allows me to discover new information, right? And I can learn and I can manipulate that over time, but I am in control of it.
Sure.
Can that actually be powerful? I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I try to do that with my social channels to a degree.
They're ultimately not in control. They still have to send you ads, and they still have to.
Yeah. It's still garbage. But I like on Instagram, it's probably my most curated. And I follow a lot of people, but most of them I've muted at this point. I don't actually see most people's content. It's just because it's just noise. I can't afford to. And then I delete it. It gives you suggested posts and shit in your feed, and I get rid of that. And you can get rid of that, but you have to get rid of it every 30 days, or else it starts feeding you shit. And it sucks you right in. You start to, well, what's this? And you start
engineered for consumption, right?
Like, fuck. Yeah. It's more so about building a sense of discipline when you do go in, to then go in, do what you need to do, and then get out, not get sucked in.
Yeah.
But I'm not perfect at that.
I didn't delete any accounts. I deleted all the apps and provided friction. And so now I can, like, if someone says something, oh, did you see this person posted on Instagram? If I really think that's genuinely interested, now I have to go to the app store, download it, re-sign in, go through the two-step verification, and then I get there and I see the thing, and then I see the rest of it's garbage, delete that.
Yeah. The brick is really good for that as well.
I've seen those. I've just never researched them at all, but it works well.
Yeah, it's just stupid simple. Like before you leave to the office, you just brick your phone, and it turns off the apps that you don't want access to. And then it's like you put it on your fridge at home. So then you go, wherever you are, you can't unbrick yourself until you go back to the physical thing on your fridge.
Oh, I didn't realize that's how it works.
So it creates a great amount of friction by you just turn the apps off, and you can't turn them back on without going to the physical location that your brick is.
Gotcha.
So that's how I've managed it as well.
That's cool.
I'll get to the office, I'll do my social media, and then I'll brick my phone. And then it just gives me access to what I need for work, but I can't. And then every time I go to Instagram, it says you're bricked, and I feel like an idiot. I'm like, why was I going to Instagram right now?
Was it that important? Yeah. I ran the second phone thing for a little while too. I did a trial probably of like 3 or 4 months.
I have that right now as well.
And I found that it actually caused more problems because I had 2 numbers. And so like I have 2 core groups of friends that there is the group chat constantly churning of whatever's going on in each other's day. Well, I had 2 phones in there, and I was creating the green bubbles.
Oh.
And I almost got murdered. They're like, Nick, it's got to go. Like, you have to have self-control. I don't know. You got to figure out the focus times thing on your phone.
Sure.
Mine was, as a business owner, you get this, right? Like, you're always dreaming and solving problems and thinking about it. My biggest problem after getting unplugged from social media was then, how do I cut off when I go home? Mm-hmm. My wife told me one day, she's like, you're here, but you're not here. Mm-hmm. And one, that's a really tough, statement for anyone to say to you, right? You're here, Aaron, but I don't feel like you're actually here. You're not listening. You're not contributing. And my wife told me that at dinner with her and my daughter. And we're really good about sitting down for dinner every night and having conversation. Yeah. But if this thing doesn't have a brick that I can brick, and so many times I get done with dinner and I go, okay, I'm gonna pick my phone up and put this thing on my to-do or shoot this email real quick, and like it'll just be real quick, right? Well, I was like, okay, well, I'll get the second phone and I just won't put any of that on there, right? It'll have text message. It was like my travel phone. Like if I went on vacation, I left that other one at home, and this one had Lyft and Google Maps and Spotify, and that was kind of
mom.
That was it. And not being able to turn this thing off, turn your head. For those on audio, I guess is like I'm pointing my cranium here, but to be able to turn your brain off is an entirely different deal. I haven't figured that out, and I don't.
Yeah.
The second phone didn't work because all my friends hated it, but so I've tried to go throw the thing in a drawer when I get home. Mm-hmm. But actually I went back to, this is crazy. When I was in high school, I collected vinyl records. As a musician, I really liked vinyl. It was the hipster thing to do in Phoenix at the time, and maybe all over the place. But
it's even more hipster now.
Well, I've gotten back into it.
Ooh.
Because I realized when I started trying to put my phone away, I would come home and I may want to research something, right? Or turn on the TV or listen to music. But listening to music was the most common thing that I wanted to do, that I needed my device for. And I was like, I can fix that.
Analog.
So now I'm analog. So now I just come home, put my phone down, put a record on, and I spin records all the time.
I think that's a big thing is, just putting your phone away.
Yeah.
I try after a certain hour at night. I'm done, dude. I cannot be looking at this anymore. But I haven't had to go through that exercise much in my life because I don't.
You had this self-control.
No, I can be wildly unbalanced.
Oh, yeah.
I can afford to be just full fucking send right now. And I am. And people are like, you need to chill. I'm like, yeah, right. Good one. Not. I'm going to go even harder, dude. Because I know the train I'm on right now, I've got to get off it at some point. Maybe. I don't know what life has in store for me, but it's I think the only time I've been really diligent about it when I'm in Phoenix with my mom. Because it's like, just leave your phone. Just leave it. Just leave it. So I try not to take it. Or if I go to dinner with somebody, I try to leave my phones. So it's like times like that where I want to be present. I have to leave stuff. I can't bring it with me. Yeah. But my mom, that has made me more present than anything else, realizing wait a minute, I've already spent well over 99% of the time I will spend with my mother.
Sure.
Beyond 99% is already gone.
Absolutely.
At this point, which is a crazy thing to think about in it by itself. Yeah. And so then I'm like, and I don't know how long this thing goes for. And she's healthy. She's
right.
Yeah. She's
I get it.
But
it's a stats game at this point.
Yeah. But it is this thing, and frankly, quote unquote losing my dad 4.5 years ago. Then it makes the other parent there's a lot more value on the other parent. I hate that that's how it works, but you start to realize this thing can just go in any which way at any fucking time. So I don't want to take advantage of it. And every moment I have, let's just be present. Let's just be all in.
Yeah. I got rid of the smartwatch for the same reason. I just killed it. And it's
how people do the smartwatch thing. When you're sitting there with somebody and you see their watch just fucking going off all day, how do you do anything? How do you have brain space for any thought whatsoever? And I don't have notifications on my phone at least either.
Yeah.
So if you text me, if I get a Slack, email, I have no notifications on. The only thing that goes through is a phone call. But even notifications on your phone, it's how do you have notifications on? Isn't that crazy distracting? It's crazy distracting. Or when I'm reading, it's like I know I'm just so attached to it because if my phone is on the desk when I'm reading, I'm thinking about my phone, even if it's flipped over. Yeah. So my phones have to be out of visual range when I read to read effectively.
Right, you'll grab it. You'll reach for it and grab it.
Or I'll just be thinking about it. Mm. So I have to go hide my phones every time I read, which is every day.
It's crazy. If you're not, in 2026, if you are not combating this, you're getting further entrenched. Because like I got a Rivian last year, driving a dirt contractor with electric pickup.
Yeah, that's blasphemy.
Yeah, I know. I love it though. But my phone is my key.
Yeah. I was with somebody the other day in their electric car. He's like, I didn't lock the car. And he pulls out his phone. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, oh, it's on your phone.
Yeah. You have to pay extra money to have a key fob. Have these little like debit card looking things that actually unlocks it. They give you two little, they look like hotel keys. Like they're flimsy little hotel key things. And that's your key to get in and start it. Or you can buy a $300 key fob.
Crazy.
Or either that or you just use this app. Which does auto unlock and lock, and
how's the Rivian been?
It's been great. Yeah. I definitely get laughed and pointed at pretty often, right? And it's wrapped, right? It's got the topo lines and everything over, just like anything Burns Dirt. But I've actually personally become very accustomed to it. I got the smallest battery, like the smallest range, it's like 265 miles or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to see, so just kind of for fun, but also like looking at the math, like it's pencils to save money.
Yeah.
This was pre, conflict we've got going on. This was middle of last year.
Sure.
And it was time for a new pickup. And my controller, Josh, and I were talking about it. And I was like, one of us said, what about an electric pickup? And maybe he said, are you against an electric vehicle?
What'd you have?
Like a Sierra 1500 Sierra half ton, standard construction guy.
Contractor special.
The contractor special, yeah. And I said, no, I don't guess so. Like I don't have any beef with electric vehicles. And we ran the math, and it was like this actually could potentially save 20-25% cost per mile. Especially looking at your driving habits. Like we looked at the data and we looked at all this stuff, and we came up with a hypothesis that it'd save about 25% cost per mile.
Because you guys operate in a somewhat tight area.
Yeah, hour and a half.
Yeah, you're not going crazy.
And I mean, even if I go to Birmingham, which is 2 hours away, I mean, there's chargers everywhere.
Stop at the Carl's Jr.
The Love's Truck. I've learned that Buc-ee's, Love's Truck Stop, and Pilot.
Okay.
Those three have wicked fast chargers.
Okay.
And by the time you go plug in, go inside, use the bathroom, grab a snack, come back, check your email, it's charged. And I'm gone for another 200 miles, which gets me to most places in the South. I can stop for one charge. I can get to the beach, one charge. I can get to Atlanta in one charge. I can get to Nashville in one charge. But other than that, I charge at home. I plug in when I get home. The next morning, I have a full charge. I can drive for a week, 10 days, without ever having to plug back up at home. And I can do all of my normal work. I can drive to job sites. I mean, it's heavy, but it's very roomy. You have tons of storage.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten any bites on people inside the organization to jump on board. I'm just going to start trialing it. Hey, swap me pickups for a week. You got to drive this thing. I'm going to charge it up, and I want you to see how actually this thing has a ton of tech. Sure. It's super nice. You got tons of storage, because I think that most people that are going to drive locally, it saves money, and they're quiet and easy to drive. I mean, I don't know. I've become a big fan of it.
Yeah. Are you a sales rep for?
Yeah. I'll collect my check. They got it on ACH.
Yeah. How much are they sliding under the table? No, I've fallen into this trap. I've realized anything that there's teams on, if you're either team this or team that, it's a trap.
It's a trap. Yeah.
It's a trap. And so I think a lot of people have fallen into this trap. That is, I'm either all in on green, on battery electric vehicles, or I'm not at all. And I think that's a trap. Or I'm all in on let's just keep burning as much coal and natural gas as possible. Or we need all solar panels and wind turbines.
Yeah.
And there's no opportunity for like, well, what if, I don't know, we could do both? Like, what if there was something in the middle that was actually the best solution to this? And there's a lot of variables here. And for this person, it makes sense. And it's the best option here. For this person, it doesn't make sense for X, Y, Z. Like, couldn't there be something in the middle?
I actually have the most, I'm that paradox, right? I run a company that burns hundreds of thousands of gallons of, diesel fuel every year.
The original green energy.
Right. Yeah. And then drive an electric pickup. I also have like an old 80s project car that I drive on the weekend. That's pure, absolute analog. It runs half the time that I go to crank it up.
You need one of those if you have an electric vehicle so the government can't shut it off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I get to go drive my golf cart all week. And then on the weekends, I can go and burn dead dinosaurs if that's what I want to do.
Sure.
Right. I've got both ends of the spectrum.
No, I think like if it works and it makes sense, by all means, I'm not here to tell people to not do something. I could not have less interest in an electric vehicle. I don't think they're comfortable. They make me car sick because of the electric motors and the acceleration and the braking.
It is weird. Yeah.
It physically makes me ill, which just drives me nuts. I'm just not a fan of them.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But I also see like it does make sense in a lot of applications.
Yeah. And I don't mind the things that you just complained about. Those don't affect me. No, right. And so I'm a totally different camp of,
I mean, I drive a 6.7 diesel right now, but we're actually going to sell that. I'm getting a Grenadier pretty soon. Within the next few weeks. They should call me.
Sweet.
I'm really excited about it.
Those are sweet.
Yeah. And it's just a small gas engine. It's very reasonable. But it's an SUV, so it's very American still.
Yeah.
Love that.
I do wish I had the SUV version of my truck. That is the only complaint is I still have the pickup and I'm like, I don't need a bed. I need to take people.
Because it's not a big pickup.
It is the
It's
size.
very heavy, but it's not a big pickup.
It is the size of a Chevy Colorado.
Yes, yeah, or Tacoma.
That is
Ranger-ish.
Yes, that's exactly the size of it.
Yeah.
Which at first you're like, this is not a pickup.
Sure.
But
yeah, and it's fine for you, but if you want to bring 4 people with you.
Yeah, so I mean,
it's a little snug.
The SUV is where I think that's the right call. I mean, I pulled up on a job site with an SUV, people be like, you have an electric SUV now.
Yeah, you'll really look like a knob.
Really?
Yeah. But I just spent a few weeks in Europe, and the electric stuff is way beyond. I'm just big picture. I'm just a believer in hybrid. I think hybrid, it just maths better. It's better technology.
Yeah.
It's actually far more efficient, grand scheme. And I think the battery thing has its place, but it was way overblown, way overly subsidized, way overly pushed on the population. And I actually think because it was so pushed, that's why people have rebelled against it. I think that's
fair.
Yeah,
I think
the more you push, the more people are like, nah, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And I think they actually did themselves a huge disservice by trying to push it as much as they did.
Yeah. Instead of letting it win an economic war.
Yep.
Right.
Same with AI right now. There's growing resentment and rebellion for AI that I don't think these executives fully appreciate. And maybe their plan is to just force it down everybody's throat, make it better and better so that they don't have to deal with human beings anymore. So maybe that's the play.
Maybe that's a play.
We don't have to worry about the growing resentment.
Yeah.
Because we're just going to railroad everybody with it. Like, what could go wrong? And so maybe that is their play.
Go big or go home.
I don't know, man. If you're one of these tone deaf executives sitting around saying, we need our organization to talk, you need to be using AI and this and that. Like, we've been doing that as an organization. I'm actually a believer in the tools are unbelievable.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, use it to do the part of your job that sucks or is monotonous.
Yes.
Or is cumbersome.
Yeah.
So that you can then devote that energy to the stuff that creates more value, the stuff that involves creativity, that involves thought, that is uniquely human, like the stuff that it can be automated and is repetitive, let's get rid of it, because who wants to do that shit? Who wants to just punch a bunch of numbers into a spreadsheet and then add up the numbers? And, the numbers don't add up. Yeah. Where's the problem? Like, if you can just automate it, dude, get rid of it so that you can spend your time elsewhere.
I don't know if it's an EOS thing, but there's like the delegation deal where it's like you build a grid of the things that you do in life and the things you're good at and the things that you're not good at and the things you like doing and the things you hate.
Yes.
I've told people this is where that's useful, is do that chart, measure what you do for a week, and then all the things that you don't like doing and you're not good at doing, see if AI can help you there.
Yeah.
Because 9 times out of 10, it probably can.
Yeah.
It's just a process. I just don't like doing it. I'm fine at it, I guess, but I just don't like doing this piece of paperwork every week. It takes 3 hours of my week and it's boring.
Yep.
That's where you have to put it.
And that's
first, primarily, like that's the
it's
the
a
entry
great place
point
to start. Yeah, I think it's a great place to start. And so I'm like, the way I see it is I'm human first with it. Like, let's apply it to eliminate the inhuman stuff within our organization so that we can almost be more human. Whereas I think most organizations are inhuman with it. Let's use it to eliminate humans.
Yeah.
And I also think it's a scapegoat right now for overhiring. I think companies way overhired post-COVID, way overhired, these big tech companies.
Yeah.
It was just a bonanza. And they're paying for it now.
Yeah.
But citing, well, we have AI and this and that. It is making people more efficient, but I actually think they're correcting for the overhiring that they did.
It's funny. I see more notebooks in meetings now than I did, especially because we have like all these robots that are every meeting. It's like, oh, let's let in all the robots into our Teams meeting, and that's maybe a good thing, right? I mean, that a benefit of this that I'm seeing is that people are seeing all of this, and then my to-do list is sent to me in an email in 15 minutes after the meeting, right? Because AI was listening to the meeting, made a transcript, gave me my action items, sent them to me. I can sit here with a notebook and look at you in this meeting,
yes,
right? And if I need to draw something or make a little note, I can make it. But we've eliminated the whole like laptops in a meeting.
Yeah, but that and there's different. I think there's different applications for it as well. Like, I think recording, like we've recorded a lot of our sales meetings, which has actually given us a lot of data to understand what we need to do better.
Yeah.
But I have a notebook everywhere I go. Everywhere. I don't have a notebook right now because I'm talking to you. I don't need it. But everywhere I go, I have a notebook, and I make a point of that to our people. I'm like, they're just kind of sitting there nodding. I'm like, you're writing it down? Because you're not good enough to remember it. No one really is. Like, you've got to write it down, man.
Yeah.
But I don't need to record the whole meeting to know what I need to write down.
That's right.
I don't need, and so, and oftentimes it just gives me more junk. I'm like, I don't need all this bullshit. I know what I need to do. Here it is. I'm just going to go do it.
Right.
Like, I think we were talking in the kitchen this morning. I think you have to have that discernment of where to apply it and where not to apply it. Like, I think I'm a little slow to the party. I'm a little late to the party. I'm still learning my ABCs when it comes to Claude. I'm using it for like the most basic shit possible. But I'm glad I've been slow in a way. Like, I think a little bit of apprehension is good. Mm-hmm. I think if you just go in and drink the Kool-Aid, I don't know. I don't.
It handles every process in your life.
Yeah,
and you
something
don't
to me
feels
off about that. I'm like, I don't know why, but something about that's just off. It's just wrong. And I think you have to use it as a tool. If you're trying to replace things like the creative process with it, now I think you're just setting yourself back as a human, as a leader, as a creative. Like, I think you're starting to play in really, really dangerous territory.
I think people need to take a second and go understand product design. If you're going to be using Claude and you're going to be building any kind of process or tool, going and understanding either systems design or just product design as a whole is a useful place to stop and say, okay, I need to look at this. Because in good product and system design, there's points of friction that are necessary.
Yeah.
We need to have friction at some point. And because if you just make a frictionless system that just breezes its way through all these things. I was talking about how I built a thing this morning that goes and pulls my receipts, right? Because I'm terrible about just some things don't have receipts with them, or like the gas machine didn't print the receipt out or whatever. Yeah. That may be good, but also did I not just give up the self-control of actually pulling my phone out and taking a picture at the end of the meal and uploading my receipt?
Well, and this goes to like, what is life without friction? And see, this is where I think a lot of people, it is a bad place to be. You're trying to automate everything. You're trying to make everything easy. And it's like, that is not the way, man. That is not the way to doing anything significant in life.
Yeah.
Like the easy way? No. That's the way to absolute despair, I would say.
Yeah.
And so that's where, I mean, even like, I think it was like Alex Hormozy the other day. He's like, here's a way to get a bunch of hours back in your life. Automate your chores and automate your cooking. Just order food. And I'm like, so one, I do have a housekeeper once a month. Great money spent. That is like something I'll have the rest of my life. I'm a believer. If you can afford it, just have someone take care of your house. I'm telling you, it's not like the math, the money on it. It just doesn't make sense to do it yourself.
I gave up cut my grass a couple of years ago, so I get it.
But unless you really enjoy it and get a lot of benefit from it, but just use someone for it. But then I went on the other side of the thing. I was like, I love cooking. I love the friction of cooking because it makes me really diligent with what I am consuming. And I need to know what I'm consuming. If I'm ordering out, and sure, maybe you could do it in a super clean way, but it's really, really hard and then there's no connection to what you're consuming and the fuel you're putting into your body. And it eliminates something very important to your health, I feel like, if you're just automating your food. And maybe that's flawed logic, but to me,
I think it's true. Yeah, I think it's true.
I love cooking when I'm at home because I know exactly what I'm consuming on a daily basis because I'm cooking every meal. Now, do I prep some of the stuff to automate it a little bit? Of course I do. Like this morning, I had eggs. I baked it yesterday, and I baked 4 servings of it. So I'm good Monday through Thursday. So I'm not doing it every day because I have to be efficient with time.
Yeah.
But I don't want to order breakfast. I want to know exactly what I'm consuming. Yeah. And the only way to do that is if I cook it in my kitchen.
Yeah, but at least you planned that out. You prepped it. You cooked the thing. You know what's in it. And arguably it's going to taste way better. But I mean, there are some just like fuel staples that automating it's okay, right? If it's your eggs for breakfast every day, right?
Yes.
You still planned it.
Yeah.
But you automated it for a few days, but you still have to do it on Thursday. You got to figure out what to do Friday.
Automating stuff though, man, there's a lot of value to it, but then you're removing, I feel like, what makes life. There has to be friction. There has to be hard stuff. And I think now, because life is so fucking easy, you don't have to think about where calories come from. You don't really have to think about a roof over your head or a toilet or anything. Like most everybody has that. Mm-hmm. You have to then go create that friction.
Yeah.
Through exercise, through doing hard shit.
Yeah. Collecting vinyl.
Vinyl.
I keep thinking about how great this hobby, like to repick this hobby up is. Cause like if a new piece of music comes out, I have to decide, do I want to spend the money on this? It's not free. Yeah. It's not $10 a month, right? I actually have to research. I have to go find. I've actually added this whole level of joy with, now I think everybody can build a hobby like this. I'm not saying everybody should go start collecting vinyl and listening to vinyl, but it stops and you have to get up and you have to flip it. Sure. Or you have to go pick out a different record. And like now my kid, she loves Steely Dan. She's gotten into Steely Dan because we go and pick out the record to play together, right? Or she'll go, hey, Dad, can I pick out the next record? Yeah, okay.
But if I just looked at it on paper, I'd be like, it's the stupidest thing ever. It's very ineffective cost-wise. I can get the song immediately right now on my phone in better quality. Why would I ever do that?
Anywhere and anywhere.
Anywhere at any time. Yeah, I don't need a machine to do it. Like there's almost no barrier to entry to music anymore. But I guarantee you that you are enjoying the music far more than I am on my phone.
I have 2 other friends that do the same thing, and we have something that we get to enjoy together now.
Yeah.
Instead of us getting together and talking about whatever BS, thing happened in the news or whatever it is, like we trade records. We buy each other records. Like we get together and I've got a friend that they have him and his wife have some daughters that are the same age as my daughter, live on the backside of our block. We go eat each other's house every like Tuesday or Wednesday. We alternate back and forth. And we have a tradition that when you're at my house, you pick out records. You go through my collection and you play the music tonight. So when I go to his house, I get to go through his collection and I pick what I want to listen to at his house.
That's cool.
And like, that's a cool, like one, it's a relationship builder. So now I have a greater connection with this human. Mm-hmm. Also, we learn things as I'll put something on, but hey, did you know something? This was like post-heroin addiction for Eric Clapton. Mm-hmm. Look how much worse it is than those other stuff, whatever it is, like whatever dumb fact. And then inevitably every few weeks, he's like, hey man, I got you this record. I know you like this guy. Yeah. And I saw it in the store. I got it for you. Like,
but that's the human experience.
It is, right?
A uniquely human thing that like on paper, it doesn't really make sense, but that's what gives the whole thing texture, color, depth. Yeah. And I was just having this conversation with somebody this weekend. I think going back to business and Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a lot of the stuff that you should do as a business for your people, it doesn't, especially in the short term, doesn't necessarily pencil. You can't really put it on a spreadsheet. And even long term, if you know it's the right thing to do, a lot of it you still can't put on a spreadsheet. And so I think that's why big business doesn't do it. Big business is fucking miserable in the US. You couldn't pay me enough to go to work for these big companies anymore. I'm not into it anymore. I used to think that they were the absolute top, the creme de la creme, but I don't put them on a pedestal at all anymore because they're miserable. Their people are miserable. And it's because they're locked into this model that is more this quarter, more next quarter, more Q3, more Q4, more Q1 of next year, more. And don't get too much more, just a little bit more. But if you're less than more, we're going to have some big problems and you might be fired. Like, it's such a racket. The whole thing is a racket. Racket. Yeah. But because they have to do more, they can't really afford to do stuff that's in their best long-term interest. It's just, that's not really the model. And then you get into the private equity model. Now it's even worse.
Sure.
Because now it's, let's just tighten the fucking screws on this thing for 5 years as much as possible. And every fucking penny we can squeeze out of this thing, we are. Every single one of them. And then we're out. Who gives a shit what happens after that? We made our money. Let's go do more. Let's make more money for people that already have tons of money because they need more money. We're winning. Look how much money we have. Love this. And it's just a model that does not prioritize people because it can't really prioritize people.
Sure.
Which is, it's really interesting. Whereas good business, you have to constantly push against those corrosive forces. That, I think that balance needs to be there. Like the business has to be solvent to pay people. Sure. Like if you're not profitable, you don't have money to invest and the thing is not safe. So for safety, the business does have to work. And we've been around that merry-go-round for years.
Yeah.
But that can't drive everything. If you're making all your decisions based on the business, the spreadsheets, you can't do what's in the best interest of your people.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
It's crazy. Every time that I go back to Maslow, I see this one theme exist across every bit of conversation going on in industry right now. And I've for years been up on John Mackey's Conscious Capitalism. Yeah. And the book is escaping me right now, but Everybody Matters. Bob Chapman, right? Like both of those guys, especially Bob, really talks about if you take care of people, the business takes care of itself.
Yeah.
Right. And if you go back to Maslow's, if we can ever let's pay people well. If you want to start working on the next levels, start figuring out what do people need. Like Maslow's is a very just cut and dry. It's like reading the plans and specs on how to have great people within your business. And I think if contractors would sit down, we do have some very black and white thoughts as creatures. Look at Maslow's. What do people need? And what you actually will find is that we talk a lot about skills training, but there are so many things that we are failing at prior to that. There's and there's even like an economic argument about this that you could make. When you talk about big businesses and little businesses, let me think of the guy's name. There's an economist, won the Nobel Peace Prize in the 90s, Gary Becker. You heard of Gary Becker? Mm-hmm. Okay, Gary Becker wrote this book in the 60s called Human Capital. Mm-hmm. And one of his big theories that he talked about was that, and I don't want to get off in the weeds in economic theory, but he talks about the difference between general skills and specific skills. And businesses are de-incentivized to teach general skills and put money into general skills, because if I teach you how to run a bulldozer, well, you can just leave and go to a competitor A for $1 more an hour, and I just invested money.
Sure.
Now, Becker talks about like the person receiving the training should carry the burden of the training because they're the one that captures the value, and there's a whole really neat. I mean,
now you're
he
really
actually
talking like an economist. Yeah.
Well, in his book in the 60s, he lays out exactly our industry's problem 60 years ago. Like it has nothing to, I mean, it's black and white right there. Hey, we could have looked at it and said, hey, in the 60s, does construction have a problem? And we said, oh yeah, we've got a problem coming. But he also talks about this thing called specific skills, which is only skills that work in your business, your software suite, or the way that you build something. I think contractors immediately go to, well, I've got to find a niche, right? And that niche is this thing that only I can build, and only I have the tools, and only my people have the knowledge, and now nobody can take my people. Mm-hmm. That's BS. Treating your people right is a specific skill.
Yeah.
Training them up through the system of mentorship, right? Or just having one-on-ones with your direct reports. Having connection time. That's a specific skill. And if you just do that, that's what big business does really poorly.
But I think, and that is the moat around your business. And that's what differentiates any great construction business right now that I've seen. But you can't put it on a spreadsheet. And I can't put numbers to it. And so, and I think that's what construction struggles with is, one, they're stuck in an economic model that doesn't really allow for it.
That's true.
Low margins, it's hyper competitive, everybody's out to kill you. It's feast or famine, and I've got to gorge myself. I'm a fucking squirrel. It's summer. There's a lot of nuts around here. I've got to get as many of these nuts as possible in my little hideout, all my little stashes before winter comes. Especially the ones that were through the recession, 2008, 2009. Like there's some major scar tissue there.
Yeah.
So hyper competitive, the margins on the work itself, just not very good. Very low margin on average in the construction industry, which just doesn't leave me very much left over.
Yeah.
And then it's an industry with very rational people that like to measure shit. Mm-hmm. How many yards of dirt are you moving a day? How many gallons of diesel are we burning? How many hours are on that machine? How much is that machine? How many of those machines do you have? Like, it's all numbers. What's your backlog? You know, it's everybody likes numbers. Yeah. We like to measure stuff. And that's
having more yellow iron too, right?
And more.
It's hard to have more yellow iron and spend more time with your people.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, you can't do both.
But
how many times do you see people do both?
I feel good about buying more yellow iron because I can see it. It's in my yard.
It's got my name on it.
It has my name on it. It can't just drive off and go to my competitor. You know, it can't just leave me. Yeah. And it's on my balance sheet, so it's safe.
Yeah.
It's safe. Yeah. I like this. And so I understand why everybody is where they are.
Sure.
And I am no longer blaming the industry for where we are. What we've done in the past has got us here. And there's a lot of great things we've done. However, we all know this is not the way forward. We all know it. I've spoken enough. No one has piped up and said, you're fucking wrong, dude. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows it.
Everybody's had one crazy.
Everybody's sweating a little bit right now. Everybody's a little nervous. Everybody's a little bitter. We're not stoked. We're not stoked. Why are we not stoked? We just spent more money on construction in all of human history in the past 5 years. We've never spent more on construction in the history of America over the past 5 years. So why aren't we all stoked about it? It's because we know what we're doing is not working. We know that. And so now that we know that, the toothpaste is out of the tube. It doesn't go back into the tube. Right. And so we can either accept responsibility and become better ourselves first as leaders, which then makes those around us better, or we can remain bitter assholes and blame everybody else. But those are the fucking people that I can now blame, because it's like, and not even blame them, but just not have time for them anymore. Like, listen, if you're not going to take responsibility, we all now know it. We all now see it. If you're not going to take responsibility, just get the fuck out of the way, because we've got to get on with the program. Like, we've got to get on with it now. And I love that you've been here for 40 years, but either help, make it better, leave it better than you found it, or leave. Yeah. Because this middle ground of just like, kind of stomping around, throwing our hands up, being a little poopy pantses about it. What has it done?
Everyone's standing around like cold water, and everyone's looking at each other going, you jump first.
Dude, I started in this industry at 18. I'm 31. It's the same conversation. The same conversation. 13 years later. And it's like, okay, guys, come on. But now we have a few contractors that have said, let's take responsibility.
Yeah.
And the gap between them and everybody else, they're now not struggling for people, really. That gap's starting to become wider and wider and wider. And there's enough of them in that group. It's not many, but there's enough of them in that group to be like, wait a minute. There's a different way here. There's a better way. What are they doing? And ultimately, they're doing a lot of great things. And you could sit here and talk about it all day. But it starts with Nic.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are either the biggest proponent or the biggest blocker in that equation. Yeah. And you're the limiter. If you get better, that allows room for everybody else to get better. But if you stay the same, you don't stay the same. You're only getting worse. You're only setting everybody else back. And so that's where, like, last year's message was about teams. It's not about teams. It's about individual leaders. That's the game.
Yeah.
And every one of these great construction companies, we could sit here and list them all. It's because of this guy. It's because of this guy. It's because of this guy. And it's not because of them, but that's where it started.
Yeah.
Without that piece, no other pieces of the puzzle fit.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. I feel like people say, like, I can't find people. Right? I hear that conversation all the time. There maybe was a time where we couldn't, and I have to get real pointed about this, is that you don't get applications.
Sure.
Is that, well, that's because you hide yourself.
Oh, people don't just walk into your office and ask for a job anymore?
Yeah. Well, your front yard looks like a junkyard because you got pipe and old busted machines and no sign out front. So nobody's going to go to the junkyard and ask for a job, right? You don't have to go as extreme as we are, right? I mean, we are very extremist in wrapping everything, putting our name everywhere. If you pull up in Startable, it's just...
Yeah,
the same. You don't have to do that. I don't think
it's extremist.
You don't think it's extremist?
No, anyways. I just spent a few weeks in Europe. That's every company.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
That's every single company.
It blows my mind. More people don't do it. I mean, we're 5 years removed from wrapping and painting our machines.
It really blows my mind too.
It's free.
Have you really regretted it?
Not one bit.
Just like, oh, what have we done?
You know, the only thing that I maybe regret is have not been louder about it. I've made some comments about like, hey, like I had this idea probably a year or two ago. I said, you know what we should do? I was behind an Amazon truck on the highway one day, and you know, like the Amazon semi trucks, and behind it's like, hey, there's a whole truckload more of Amazon Prime
I just
thing.
Punch whoever came up with that. But I know exactly what you're talking about.
But I saw it and I was like, why are we not doing that?
Mm-hmm.
How annoying. That's so stupid. But guess what? I just spent 15 minutes thinking about Amazon.
Sure.
I was like, And so I came up with like these slogans one afternoon of all the stuff we'd put all over the back of our dump trucks and on the side of our dump trucks. They all got shot down because people were like, hey, we're like, it's probably not, there was a whole bunch of very logical reasons not to put them on the dump trucks. But I think that's been my only regret is like
stay back 200 feet and then you've got somebody
try to get up closer. That was the whole argument. It was like, we literally want them to stay away from it, Nick. You not get closer and read what funny, witty thing you said.
Have you seen Reno 911? That's like the whole opening joke is like they're in a police chase and there's like 100 of these. They're in a police chase and they're trying to read the vanity plate. They're like, the plate is, and they start to read it out. They're like, oh, wait. What does this mean? What is it? What do you think it means? And they're like, and then they're like talking it through. They're sounding it out. They're like, oh, this is. And then as soon as they get it, he's like, are you slowing down? And then they crash into the guy. So stupid.
Yeah, that was the advisement was that we probably don't need to do that, Nick. We'll figure out, come up with other ways. Yeah. Okay, all right, we'll come up with other ways. But like, I mean, we get tons and tons of resumes, tons. And as a matter of fact, now years removed, it's crazy because the people that get hired on, I always ask people like, well, how did you find out about us? Oh, my buddy says it's a great place to work. They never say, oh, I saw your trucks everywhere and thought this would be a great place. I think it's brand reinforcement.
Sure.
Right? Because as soon as someone says, oh, yeah, I work at Burns, I love working at Burns.
Then
they say the trucks every day.
Once you started to take care of everything, though, what was, couldn't you measure like equipment damage or has everything been taken care of better?
Yeah, we simultaneously got rid of a bunch of junk in our fleet anyways.
You have CVAs too, right?
We have CVAs. We also, I think, I try not to throw stones and I live in a glass house, so I don't throw many stones. But I disagree with the like bonus depreciation section 179 that small business owners use. I think it's a small business tax, but if you in improper use of it, there's so many people that go buy a brand new pickup every year because it's like, oh, well, my accountant said I need to go buy a new pickup. And that's not how asset management works.
Yes.
And we're and next year will be 50 years in business for us. Okay. And so we went from my grandfather and his brother with two guys with two dump trucks in 1977 to we've got, hundreds. We have 50 dump trucks in the fleet today, right? And hundreds of yellow iron. Along the way, you end up buying iron instead of paying taxes. There was no linear like progression, and we realized we owned way too much. So actually just providing our guys with nicer stuff, not junk, painting it, and then allowing people, especially I think small businesses can do this, not big businesses really struggle with this, but hey, this guy's been with us for 10 years. He runs the same D5 dozer every day. Have him come in. Hey, here's the spec sheet. Here's all the options you can get. You can get anything you want on it. Do you want the seat heaters? I'll buy you seat heaters.
I don't know. It's such a, yeah.
That helped out the most is like, hey, I'm going to buy you this. And then guess what? I'm going to take your picture in front of it. Like you just bought your first home or whatever, right?
But that's where, the depreciation thing is, or the tax thing is, I've always found weird because it's like, all right, cool. You avoided taxes this year, but now
kick the can down the road.
You kick the can down the road. The government, they get their fucking money. They're going to get it.
And you bought a depreciating asset.
And you bought a depreciating asset. And now you don't have that capital to go reinvest in the business in other ways. Now it's tied up in an asset that you probably don't need. And so like I get a little bit of it, but Randy talks about it all the time. Yeah. It's like you just end up with a bunch of shit that's underutilized, that all your money is tied up in that, when like you should have probably paid a little bit in taxes to then have that capital to then go reinvest in different ways within your business to then create a bigger return. Like you're penny wise but pound foolish. You're over here trying to save a little bit of money for like ego, or a lot of times it's like ego. It's like I got the government because it's trick. Like I got them. They're like, they created the whole trick, man. And I don't think anybody wins.
It blows my mind as an industry of road builders how we hate paying taxes, but we get paid off of taxes. Anyways, that's a whole. We spend hours on that. Yeah.
Nick, don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. But I this is where it's so interesting. Like even the I love Switzerland, but the more time I spend in the Netherlands, I'm like, maybe this is, I think, some of the best in the world, construction. I'm between Switzerland and Netherlands, maybe Norway, Sweden as well.
Oh, cool.
But the Netherlands is remarkable. It's the only place I've seen where all the operators, they keep their boots on the outside of the machine. Mm-hmm. And dude, the machines are spotless inside and out. I remember we went to look at it was a Cat 330 long reach. It was a battery machine. So we had to get up on the machine. You know, you climb up on the side and you get up on top there to then look at, they had replaced the engine with batteries, obviously, in an electric motor. And we wanted to look at it. And you could tell the operator was like, because we had to get up on the machine with our boots on. Which then got a little
mop in there now.
Mud on the machine, on the outside of the machine. But that's
the outside.
But that's how serious they are about it.
Yeah.
And when I was out there last, the project manager, he was like, yeah, these guys, they're at work an hour early, oftentimes, an hour late sometimes, on the weekends. They're cleaning their machines, they're wiping the excess grease off. Like, they're really serious about them. And we allow them to spec the machine as they want to spec it. Mm-hmm. We keep the operators with the machines, and that is their machine, and they treat it like their machine. And these are some of the most proud operators I've ever been around. These are some of the finest construction companies in the world. And then you put it on social media, and a bunch of people shit all over it. And it's all the Americans telling you why it's so stupid. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well, okay, maybe, but it works for a whole country that has exported their ability to build stuff worldwide because the Dutch have engineered their entire country to not flood, which is bonkers what they've actually done. They've gotten so good at engineering that they've created a very large percentage of their country. And then they've taken that know-how that they've developed over hundreds of years, and they've exported it around the world so that any large port, airport, anything marine related has either a Dutch or Belgian contractor probably doing it worldwide. That's their thing.
Yeah.
And so it's like, why are we so quick to just criticize this? Like, there's more to the story than, well, it just wouldn't work here. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it would, man. I'm not here to tell you what's going to work and what's not. I'm just here to say I've seen it now enough, and I've seen everybody in a country doing it to know that, like, maybe there's something here worth looking into. There's a principle here that I think might apply. I don't know.
Yeah.
And we're just so quick to, like, defend, though. Oh, it would never work here.
And what works in Mississippi may not work in Maine.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, like, I don't compete with other contractors for people. That's a whole fallacy that I think contractors think. I compete with the steel mill.
Yes.
I compete
Amazon
with the truck manufacturer. There's a drone manufacturer in town, and that's who we compete with.
Yeah.
It's not a contractor to contractor thing. This is, that still exists in our industry, and we have to fix. I think that's one of the major things we have to fix is that contractors have to stop thinking that it's Aaron's construction company versus Nick's construction company. Right?
I think we fix that by companies like yours just lapping everybody else when it comes to people, and just forcing the market into changing. I don't think there's another way to do it. I don't think the industry is going to come around and be like, you know what? Let's all join hands.
No,
let's all join hands. We're in this together. You got to force everybody to do it. I think you force through economics. It's either pain or pleasure. It's not happening for pleasure. You've got to make it painful. I think you make it painful by you guys doing a lot better with people, which then in a way solves your recruiting challenge that everybody else is facing. That makes your business more profitable, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, which then allows you to do more for people, which then allows you to have better people around and around you go, which then allows you to do the same work, but for less money, not because you're underbidding, but because you're more efficient and effective.
Yeah.
You're doing the work for less money, but making more money than the next guy. And now you're starting through economics to force the marketplace's hand.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And call me naive. But I think there's enough Burns Dirts out there now to actually start to really put pressure on the marketplace. And I actually think that's what's happening already, which is why these bigger contractors are starting to feel it more and more and more.
Yeah. And
that's why they're sweating.
The crazy thing, I mean, I feel like we've been in this trying to do better and level up for 5 or 6 years, 7 years now. And every year that passes, I realize, holy crap, I was so ignorant. I used to think that we were doing the right thing, and we weren't even close. Yeah. And it's just like learning anything, right? That you learn something, and then one day you wake up and you look back and you go, I knew nothing at that time.
Oh, it's a Dunning-Kruger effect too.
Yeah.
But that's where I just think you have to start. You just have to get onto the path. And then the further you go, the more is revealed to you. I think that's how the world works. I don't think you come up with the whole grand plan. You just got to go start. Like doing the triathlon. I mean, you could have done it better maybe by doing all this shit, but you kind of just had to get in the fucking water. You kind of just had to do it to then, oh, okay, I can kind of see what's going on here. And now the next one's going to be better because now you see more. There's more information available to you, learned experience. Okay, cool. I'll do the next one better. I think it's kind of the same thing. But again, you are the chokehold. I don't see another way around it. And so you have to get on the path first.
You do. And you have to stay on it. And you have to constantly be trying to churn forward. Macaulay, you've met Macaulay before, our chief people officer. Like, one, everybody thought I was, insane for hiring a woman to come in and like train people. And it's like, well, that was never the point. She wasn't training people. She was helping facilitate, but she was a workforce. She was a people mind, right? Yeah. And she's been with us over 4 years now. And her and I were having a conversation 2 weeks ago. She's like, we had no idea what we were doing 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Like, what are we going to think in 4 years about what we're doing today? And now we think we're like, oh, we've got it figured out now.
Sure. Yeah.
Today, all of a sudden, I feel like, oh, okay, if we run this system and we do this and we have these touch points with these people and we do that, like, here's how we can, maybe we're ignorant in this, but I was having a conversation with Herb Sargent maybe a year ago. I was like, how did you design your people systems? He's like, my what? And it's like people systems. Like, you had great people and you build all this and you obviously had like some kind of system that you ran people with. He's like, we never codified culture.
Sure.
And I was like, the more I dug, yes, they kind of did, right? And now we feel like we're on top of the game. Like, oh, we've got it. I've figured out how I've codified Maslow's hierarchy of needs when I know that in 2 years, it's just going to be all over. But my whole point with this whole rant here is that you have to start today. Yeah.
And like Sargent, I think they went ESOP in 2013.
Yeah.
If memory corrects me or serves me right. It's 2026. So they've been on that journey for 13 years. And it wasn't like they weren't doing it before that as well. Like and so everybody's seeing the end result today, but it started, or Hoopaw, or CW, like they've been doing it a long time.
It takes so long.
You're good. It does, but it doesn't. Like in the grand scheme, it's only a few years.
You get early rewards.
So like your company,
ton of early rewards.
Yeah, but you've only been doing it like seriously for maybe 5 years.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, 5 years. You've been around since the 70s. Mm-hmm. So in the grand scheme of things, on a percentage basis, it's not that long.
Yeah,
it's really not. In just a few years, like in just a few years, you're going to be making more money. You're going to be enjoying things a little bit more. Your people are going to be better off. Like,
all that's already true.
Why not make that trade?
That is all already true.
Yeah.
Life is so much better. The business is so much better.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's
going for an hour.
And it's there's no finish line. You'll be adjusting every year. We can get better and better and better and better. But my point is, most construction companies have been stuck in the same economic model for decades. Nothing has really changed. Nothing. And like the greatest advancement in the construction industry, civil construction, is GPS. Still. Yeah. It's crazy. Like that's kind of a thing. And it gave you a little bit of an edge early on, but now everybody uses it, so on and so forth. Like, but everybody's kind of been stuck in the same model. There hasn't really been a new way of doing things until now. I actually think like being people first, field first, that offers you a new model to to break free of the fucking rat race, of the merry-go-round that everybody, the hamster wheel that everybody's been on for decades. Like, that's your way out.
Yeah.
And that's the industry's way out.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. And you ever go back to like the skills training thing? I'm not trying to like change the topic, but go to skills training. It's the same thing though. You have to fulfill all these other things before we can even make better bulldozer operators. And you have to start on all these things we're talking about before, because I think everybody thinks the core problem is nobody knows how to run a bulldozer.
Yeah.
It's not what we're saying.
No.
That's not it. We have to fix all these other things. Guess what? They'll get better.
Well, and you have a generation that's all bent out of shape right now because the up and coming generation doesn't have these core basics. But it's like, one, you raised these people. They're the product of previous generations. You're the previous generation. So who's at fault here? I don't know. Maybe the previous generation. Maybe look in the fucking mirror. Two, they didn't get taught the basics. They didn't learn it at home. They didn't learn it at school. They didn't learn it from previous employers. So why don't you teach them? Why don't you make them better human beings? And why don't you, and sure, they don't trust you because they've just been screwed by every other employer. Of course they're not going to trust you. You have to go first. You have to rebuild that relationship. You have to mend that fence. But if you do that, it creates this loyalty that you cannot buy, that you cannot recreate any other way. And so that's where, I think everybody goes to skills. But it's like...
There's so much before that, though. It's
like, I mean, it's as simple as, do people know how to like shake someone's hand and introduce themselves? Yeah. Like, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. And a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Well, we need to start there. Like, it sounds stupid, but that's the kind of stuff we need to be teaching people.
Yeah.
We need to be teaching them how to save money. We need to be teaching them how to be healthy. We need to be teaching them how to speak to not just the people at work, but like their spouse, for example, and solve conflict. You know, it's just like life basics that these people are lacking because society has failed them. But it's not the government that's going to save the day. It's not the education system that's going to save the day.
No.
It's not. I think it's small business.
Small business. If you're it's
not big business.
I always joke about this. Like small business, we are parents. We're picking up where the parents left off, wherever that was.
Yeah.
Wherever that was. Sometimes that was a long time ago. Sometimes that was they just didn't carry them very far, and sometimes they did, right? And we're in the middle of recording. It's recording. We're doing some live in person, and we're doing some podcast of personal finance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm recording a podcast next week. The title of it is How to Make $1 Million.
Nice.
And it's all about your 401k contribution and why. Here's the formula, how much you should be contributing.
But you kind of need $1 million in your 401k to even just live.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like $1 million in a 401k upon retirement, at my retirement age, it probably won't be enough.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to have Social Security.
Right. But I mean, if we look at our enrollment in 401k, it was something, last time I looked at it, if the industry average was like 60%, we were at 40%. We were a third less than industry participation. And I think we have great people. I think we have smart people. We've been on this journey for 5 years, and I feel like we realized like, look up, our guys they're complaining about their paycheck because everyone does, but we also haven't educated them on how to utilize it the best. Well, like, that's just a tool.
And the
money's just a tool.
I mean, Mississippi is not known for its education.
Nah, but our reading levels are coming up. We're getting
we're
getting better.
I don't even say that jokingly. It's just like it is behind in some ways.
Totally, yeah.
But you can, as an employer, you can kick and scream about that, or you can say, "Well, it's my opportunity and my responsibility to get these people to where they should be. Society has let them down, and it's my responsibility." I like going back to Bob Chapman too. He explains everybody as somebody's child. Like, everybody is somebody's child. Like, care for them in that way. Care for them with that lens. And I think that's why Barry Waymiller has actually been able to do what they've done, is because they've always been privately held. But like John Mackey sold Whole Foods to the evil empire, and then
what is it today?
What is it today?
There's no
Do I
conscious
go
capitalism
in and
update.
Everybody's tap dancing to work at Whole Foods?
Yeah.
No, I like Whole Foods, but I don't have, and it's not anything against the people there. It's just like, I don't feel warm and fuzzy by the people at Whole Foods, like it was back in the day. Yeah. What got it there?
Yeah. Our 10-year statement, or like our mission statement or whatever at Burns, we've been really trying to refine. We didn't have one 5 years ago. And
we're working on ours as we speak.
Yeah. And I think it always is kind of like in a work in progress, but our current one today is we want to build a company where people come to grow and stay for life, leaving behind work that speaks for itself, which I want to get rid of the whole leaving behind work that speaks for itself. We were talking about earlier about getting rid of stuff and messaging.
Simple.
But I want it to, I'm really pushing for this, build a company where people come to grow and stay for life. And there's two parts of that. Like building a company is like, it's just intro to what this statement means. But come to grow, which means they want to be there. Like there's a desire to be at the organization. And then number two is they come for growth. They come for development, whether it's personal, whether it's self-actualization, or if it's, hey, I want to make a little bit more money, whatever it is. And then stay for life is the second part, which is not I want you to have a contract and stay and spend the rest of your career. Yeah, that I do. I mean, I think if we're doing a good job and there's a good symbiotic relationship here, then you will be committed to this thing. But what I really mean by that is that it's life-giving, and that you feel inspired and you invest in others and you give back and you teach the next generation and you teach your coworker and you're plugged in with each other. And maybe you talk about your vinyl collection or whatever it is that you have human connection, but coming to grow and stay for life, that's what we're trying to figure out.
Well, and even if they leave, they take the life principles with them.
Yeah.
And help further those principles within the community. I think that's an important part of business too. I think retaining a workforce is insane to think you can do it. And I don't think it's actually good for the business to just retain everybody.
Yeah, it's impossible.
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's healthy. Yeah. There has to be some degree of turnover. Some degree is healthy.
Yeah.
But even if those people leave, they're better off as a result. And then they're carrying that with them into the marketplace, into the community, which then hopefully furthers it even more with people outside of your business. I think
one of our core values is build for more. And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Is that like, I don't want you to just like, I think that you're very right. Or like you always say this whole, like we do a very important part of society. We build roads and we, install sewer pipes so people can have cleanliness in their homes. But also, if you run a small business or you're a leader, you have a responsibility to help make sure there's better fathers in your neighborhood, right? Like we have a part of our like marketing budget every year is I will sponsor any baseball, basketball, lacrosse, I don't care what it is. If you're involved.
Sure.
If you'll coach that team, I'll put whatever money in that team.
Well, and if you think about the foreman, that foreman is it could be the most influential person within that crew's life.
That's dad. That is dad. I don't care what anybody says. That's dad.
And that could be a positive influence. That could be a non-existent influence and a very limited influence, or it could be a negative influence.
Sure, totally. Yeah.
But I would say that's the most influential person within those people's lives.
Do you want to be a father that's known for his addictions?
Yeah.
Or for his wisdom?
Abuse.
His abuse. Yeah. Or how much he made you feel loved. Like we talk about that with our leaders all the time, is that like those young men look up to you just like your kids did and just like you looked up to your father.
But this goes back to my point, that is, it starts with leaders, because if I was abused, odds are I will pass that abuse on because I don't know any better. That's just the default that I was built within. Those are my factory settings.
Sure, yeah.
And so if you don't care for yourself, if you don't unwire that, it just goes to everybody else around you. And so that's where it still starts with leadership. Like, you've got to handle your shit. We have to be mentally healthier as an industry, but that means you as a leader have to be mentally healthy. And
that's hard. Right?
It's so hard. It's way harder, but it's amazing. Like, one of the best things I've done is unwind a lot of my traumas, so to speak, over my lifetime to help me understand how I'm wired and how I react to things, and to use some of this stuff as an example for others. The one thing, like, I feel like I've been able to impact a lot of people to take care of themselves mentally. Not by saying, you guys need to take care of yourselves mentally. We have a suicide problem in the construction industry. It's, listen, I'm fucked up. Here's how I'm fucked up. Here's how I've dealt with it. Here's how I've compartmentalized it.
Yeah.
Here's how I've worked through it. Here's what I think about it today. And even me talking about it, like, I'll talk about my dad not talking to me in a talk. Ironic. Love it. To get to that point, I've had to process it.
Yeah. Like, I had to have some sort of peace with it, right?
Like, every time my mom's like, I worry about you. I'm like, I know that's a mother's job, but like, if I'm talking about it, you don't need to worry about it, because that means
that's advancement.
Yeah, that's
leveled up.
That's
Bob.
if there's light shining upon it. The stuff in the darkness that you have to worry about that I'm not talking about, But talking about that stuff has been it hasn't been one. It's been the most influential thing I've done when it comes to helping other people with their minds, is by just being an example, by just saying, listen, went through this. Here's what I learned. Here's the lessons I've learned. It sucks, but it was actually a great thing. And this is why. And just showing people, wow.
Yeah.
Then they start to think, what about me? And again, it's teaching through a story.
Yeah.
You're not telling somebody, Nick, go to therapy.
Yeah.
You know how effective telling someone to go to therapy is?
It generally doesn't work. Yeah.
It doesn't work.
But like, I think also as a leader, like, it takes practice to get to where you're willing to be vulnerable and tell stories and stuff, right? And
certainly
anybody that knows me knows that Nick is not bashful about, hey, look, let me open my trench coat and show you all of my demons that has taken place,
Sure.
But maybe that helps me in leadership. But I mean, I recently, so me and my brother bought the family out of our business, right? And, small family businesses are a complicated web to unweave. We're kind of in the last bit of our last transaction that took place kind of over a decade, and it's a whole nother deal. But the emotional part though here is that one day my grandfather and I were having a conversation. It was a real emotional conversation about the business and why me and my brother want to do the things that we do. And at some point in the conversation, he said, "Well, like, I'm not your dad. I'm your grandfather." Like. And I don't remember how we got there in that conversation, but I remember pausing, and it hit me. My dad passed away 10 years ago this year. Passed away from cancer.
So how old were you?
23 at the time.
Yeah.
And he had battled non-Hodgkin's lymphoma for like 2 years and had just gone through divorce. Like, my parents had gotten a divorce that was real brutal, as not all of them are, but it was a real brutal one.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those really nice, great divorces. It was one of the bad ones. Like,
one of the bad versions.
One of the bad divorces.
Yeah. 2.5 years of that. Like 6 months later, Dad finds out he's got stage 4 lymphoma, and then goes through 2 years of that. And so it's a brutal, pretty 4 or 5 years when I was in that 18 to 23.
Sure.
That's the same time that I went to work at Burns. I've been working at Burns for about maybe 3 or 4 years. Yeah, maybe 3 years. Mm-hmm. When my dad got sick and died. And what did I do? Just like many young men, I latched on to business and just hit it harder, right? Yeah. I remember I got the call my dad passed away at like 8:15 on a Wednesday night. I was the first one at the office the next morning. And my grandfather came in and he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What else am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to sit home?"
Yeah, pout.
And pout. He's like, no, I guess you're right. Was not the right answer. He should have said, no, you need to go take the day off. We probably do need to pout a little bit and think about things. But anyways, 10 years removed from that, trying to do this, probably one of the largest things I'll do in my life, and untangle this whole family tree and work through this, and realize that for the last 10 years, I'd replaced my grandfather as my father. And so like all of if you think about like the standard father and son relationship, right? Like, I just want my grandfather to be proud of me.
Sure.
I want to spend time with him. I want to do this, like all of the things that I needed out of a father, but I had a father that was absent for half of my life at this point.
Yeah.
And I had replaced him, but that was not who he was. He raised two daughters, my mother and my aunt, and he didn't know how to be a father to sons. And he did it for 50 years before they came along. And then all of a sudden he's got this one son that comes along and wants to, grow the business and subconsciously replaces you as his father.
Sure.
And now like our relationship's weird all of a sudden. Like, and we're both very aware of it. We've talked about this and we're like, okay, well, here's the facts. Here's how we got here. And I'm like, okay, well, he's not my father. He's my grandfather. This is a different relationship. And he is going, okay, I have a grandson that's dealing with this. And so we have to like consciously not talk about work now and not talk about business, because we knew that that was the thing that allowed it. I say all that to say, like, that happens on the job site. Like, that's not an exceptional story.
No.
There's nothing special about what I just said. There's no, woe is Nick. There's no, oh, great is Nick that he figured it out. But like, that is the normal human experience. And that happens on the job site every day. Happens in the boardroom. Happens right here. And I don't know. It's like, let's go back to Maslow's. It's like, it's just, let's figure out what people's needs are and try to meet each other's needs and try to make sure I'm getting my needs met. And
sure,
it all simplifies a lot of it.
Yeah, the dad stuff's tricky, man.
It is.
And the mom stuff.
And mom stuff, yeah.
And the mom stuff. I've really, like, me and my mom, it was a really solid childhood. And then my parents got divorced when I was like 11 or 12. And that's when the wheels fell off. And I think that's where a lot of problems happened within those like later developmental years, which has been weird to work through.
Because of the events that happened there, or like the themes that developed because of that?
No, because it was the events. So like it was not great with my mom for a while.
Yeah.
In those in between years, like as a teenager, which is a weird time to go through it in some ways, but also a better time to go through it in other ways, because you can remember a little bit more, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
If it happens when you're like a kid.
Once you're conquered, you have this weapon.
Yeah. So, sometimes with a kid, like some stuff happens to you and you don't, like your mind deletes it. And then it can still, but still there. It's still in the underlying code base, but you don't even know it's there. But yeah, as an adult, working through all that stuff it's been great. That's the point I try to make, is like working through this stuff. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not easy, but now it's not the master over you.
Yeah.
It's not the master anymore. Once you can get rid of the chains, it's like, cool. It doesn't get rid of it, but now I can use this for something. Now I can put this to use in a way, not as this sob story. Oh, poor me. Everybody has bad shit that happens to them, but you can work with it rather than work against it.
Yeah.
Knowingly or unknowingly. Most people are working against it unknowingly, I would say, but it's there.
I was talking about this, like the exact same thing with a friend probably a month ago. And he made this statement. He's like, we're all human. And every time I hear a story about, someone else's just dark stuff that happened, right? Everybody has that, right? And if you can remember that actually dehumanizes everybody. If you can remember, yesterday we were driving through Knoxville, and my wife's driving. She doesn't let me drive, which is fine because I can get them a little tappy in the passenger seat. Yeah. But I'm doing a little tappy, and I'm talking to her and doing tappy, and she gasps loud, and this VW bug is coming on the off ramp head on with us, and we're probably 50 feet from the on ramp. she watches F1 herself. She's put her best Charles Leclerc on and goes off. It's pouring down rain. She's on wore out tires. So she pulls off and she calms down and she's crying and she listens, like she's sitting there and the person drives by and she's like, ugh, like angry. And like many people, first thing she's like, were they drunk? Like what, how do you, and I said, well, they're probably distracted on their phone. And she's like, you're right. That's probably it. And then, but we had a conversation about we're all humans.
Yeah.
We're all humans. I could have very easily be the one to make that mistake tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. And like, I think that there's so much happiness to be found in life when you realize like, oh yeah, my parents did some dumb stuff. My dad did a lot of dumb stuff to cause, like that divorce, and that both of them said a lot of mean things.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And they did a lot of dumb stuff.
Yeah.
My dad did a lot of dumb stuff by not going to the doctor for 5.5 years when he felt sick.
Yeah.
That was real stupid.
Yeah.
But dang, you know what? It means I got to go to the doctor. I'm human, and
you have that realization. I had that realization through all this that like, I remember it started to get a lot better with my mom when I just had the realization that was like, wait a minute, she did her best.
She's just trying to figure it out,
dude. She was doing her best, and sure, that doesn't excuse that doesn't excuse behavior.
No, it's not. Yeah,
it's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse. No.
Everybody's an adult, and they need to handle themselves as a fucking adult and take responsibility. But you don't know what happened, especially with your parents. Like, you don't know how they were fucked up as kids. You have no idea. You have no context. Like, almost none. None. Especially me. Like, I didn't really know my grandparents. Like, my last grandparent died when I was 6. So,
oh yeah, you have no clue then.
Not even the context of grandparents to help me figure out my parents. And as you start to learn some of this stuff, you're like, oh boy, like, yeah, they got it too, and they've always just been doing their best. And once you can approach it with like a degree of grace, I think it makes it a lot easier to get through and to understand, and then to develop a better relationship after that, especially if they're doing their part too.
Yeah.
Like if they really are getting on a different path to support that, I think it's up to them.
Tons of people, most people don't have this realization that we're talking about, right? To realize, to humanize each other too. And so if you're dealing with a problem with somebody, I think the first thing to go is okay, I might be the only one acting like an adult here.
Well, I'm reading a book about that right now. It's The Anatomy of Peace. It's like when you have a conflict with somebody, you either view them as a human or you view them as a problem, as an obstacle. And when they're an obstacle, now you're the one that's right. Now there's no way to invite other possibilities. There's no place for common ground. And so there's no place for a solution. They're just an obstacle that you've got to run over. Whereas if they're a human, well, they have their perspective. They have their feelings. Clearly, they don't see my perspective. They think that they're right.
Yeah.
And they don't just think that they're right to screw me over. Like, my wife's not trying to intentionally screw me and my family, yeah. And yet you go to that place. Like, what's her deal, man? Like, I'm working so hard. I'm trying to put a roof over the family, and man, she has no idea what I was dealing with at work today, this and that. And you just so quickly go to such a negative, dark place.
Yeah.
But if you humanize everything, it starts to allow for this sense of peace and resolution.
Yeah.
That's just not possible otherwise.
It's funny, man. Talking about my dad. My dad gave me a piece of advice when I was in high school. I don't remember what I was fighting with a friend or some kind of, BS situation. And I said something wasn't fair. And my dad was like, yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I made some other dumb teenage comment. And he goes, let me give you a piece of advice. And if you'll listen to this, it's going to save you a lot of heartache in life. It took me too long to figure this out. He said, nobody cares about you.
Yeah.
He said, me and your mom care about you. But if you think somebody's out to get you, guess what? Nobody's out to get you. They don't care. The world doesn't care. They don't think about you.
Yeah.
Your friends and your family are the only ones that maybe think about you. You think about you, and the rest of the world does not care.
But I think this is
maybe an extreme.
Well, but this is, I think, a big root problem with the workforce today is that they were lied to in most ways. They were taught the world is fair. Bullshit. And that's what the education system teaches you. It's complete. Yeah. It's complete bullshit. And that's why I think a lot of kids that do well in school, they have a really hard time as
life's
an adult.
not a Scantron, Aaron.
They have a really hard time as a result because they have not built the resilience necessary to deal with the world that is not fair and that does not give a shit about you. And that's what I counsel, like younger people getting into the workforce. I'm just like, hear me out. And I'm saying this in a very positive, caring way. These employers are going to feed you all this bullshit about how important you are. They don't fucking care about you, and you are a number. You are nothing more than a number. Now, that's not to say take advantage. Do your best. They're going to do their best. But if you're doing your best, and you're doing your best, and you're doing your best, and they're not reciprocating, go somewhere else.
Yeah. Go somewhere that they are giving their best.
Yeah. Your life, your future is your responsibility. It's not, you're not going to find a mentor that's going to make it all work for you. It's not your boss. It's not your spouse. It's not your parent. Nobody cares about you like you care about you. If you don't prioritize you, no one else will. And so quit looking around for everybody else to give you the solution and figure it out yourself. And the sooner you do that, man, now everything starts to make sense.
Yeah.
Once you just take responsibility. But a lot of people, they've never heard that. They've never been taught that. That world in which they've lived in, that's kind of fake, hasn't really made them come to terms with that. But then you get into the real world, it's a fucking jungle, man.
Yeah.
It really is a jungle.
Log on to Facebook and it just reconfirms that you're more important than you are.
Yes. But yeah, it's especially, it's summer and you see all the companies talking about, oh, our interns are the best. We love our interns, this and that. And I'm like, I was an intern at some of these companies, dude. I was a pile of shit. Like at best. And I'm glad I was. It taught me a lot. But all of that talk, man, it's all nonsense. And then all these kids too, like if you're a safety intern, I feel bad. Don't be a safety intern. Go get out to the field. Yeah. See how the world really works. You can go work safety later. Get your ass out into the field and make it happen.
Get in the ditch. Yeah.
Dude, that is the foundation for everything else. If you skip that, you are in a world of hurt for your career. And the best time to do it is when you've got nothing. When you're 18 years old, when you're 19 years old, when you're 20 years old.
When you got the energy, the back.
Dude, if you skip to go, you get rid of that. You've dealt with a lot of these people that have never had a shovel in their hand. You know who they are.
Yeah.
They just don't have that sense of humility. They're not grounded.
Well, there's no context, too.
There's no context.
If you hadn't done all those, you can't ever be the leader.
No.
If you don't have the context for it.
And you don't even need that much.
You don't.
No. You'll need to shovel tracks a few times.
That's AI's problem. It doesn't have the context, right? We were talking about it's not replacing anybody. It doesn't have the context. It doesn't know what's going on. No. As a matter of fact, it'll drive you in the ditch if you let it drive. Yeah. It's the same thing in real life, right? You got to have the context.
Well, we didn't get to the Epstein files, but
we can do that next week.
That'll be for the next one.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
No, I'm really excited about what you guys have going.
Thanks.
Appreciate what you're doing.
Hope we're doing it right.
I think you are. Yeah, I really think you are. I think you're a great example for especially the up and coming guys. Like, no offense to the Herb Sargents out there, but he's a different generation. Whereas, and I say that jokingly, but he knows that. Yeah. Whereas you're the present, if not the up and coming generation, but you're calling the shots. You're building something better, different, and that now you have enough years, you have enough of a data set to suggest that like, yeah, this is better, and we're going to keep doing this.
Yeah, there's no going back by any means. And
No.
all I think I can hope for is that we figure out how to do it again better next year.
Yeah.
Right. Just like we're better than we were last year.
That's it.
And we're better this week than we were last week. Let's just keep. Randy told me that years ago. He's like, if you just focus on getting better, whatever it is, be more efficient in this, do this thing better, just focus on getting better. Everything else works out.
Like instead of fixating on the competition, fixate on you. You're the competition. That's where like Dirt World's a great example. We're not looking at other events. I just want to kick the shit out of 2025 Dirt World this year. That's it. That's the standard. That's it. Our YouTube videos, I want this week's video to be better than last week's. That's it.
Yeah.
If we do that and you rinse and repeat that every week, every month, every year, whoa. Really cool stuff happens.
Really cool stuff happens.
Well, Nick, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.